Hi everybody, it's Sally here, and today I'm going to go through doing punch tuck rib on my silver reed standard gauge knitting machine with its ribbing attachment. I don't really know why they call it punch tuck rib. I mean, it's just tuck rib with a punch card, but anyway, in your book it is called punch tuck rib, and the instructions start, well, they actually start on page 39, rib stitches using a punch card. But the punch tuck rib itself starts on page 41. Now, I know when people first get their ribber and discover it's got punch cards in there, they sort of go, ugh, why? Because it doesn't have its own punch card reader. Well, no, obviously not, but it is designed for double bed fabrics made using your ribber and creating a textured pattern on the knitter side of the fabric, which does show through on the rib side as well. So it is kind of double-sided, except on one side it's a lot more pronounced than it is on the other one. So refer first of all to, this is the SRP 60N book, but you will have the same thing if you got the earlier SRP 50. Somewhere in that book it will start rib stitches using a punch card, and here it will tell you which cards do what. Now the ribber cards start, they're numbered R2. I don't know why R2, presumably there was a set R1 at one point, maybe not, but just one of the quirks. So R2, number 1, R2 to number 10, R2. So you get 10 cards, and each one of the ribber cards can be used in two ways, marked A and B. However, certainly for punch tuck rib, you need your knitter cards to do this, the ones that came with the original knitting machine. If you look in this table, none of the ribber cards are in column B, which is punch tuck rib, or column C for that matter, tuck rib stitch. So you want your knitter punch cards, and they suggest that you can use number 2, number 4, number 7, number 9, number 10 and number 12. But that is not exhaustive, because I have used card 3 and got a very, very nice result with that. So feel free to experiment. You will still need a card that will tuck. So in other words, it's got to be predominantly holes with no more than one space in between. Although it says you can use card 2, which is the 2x2 card, which is interesting. I might have to try that sometime, but I would use I'm going to try it with card 9. I've done it, the green top that I posted online a few weeks ago, I did that using card 10. And for some of them you might need also to pay attention to whether you're putting the A end in or the C end in, because card 10 makes those like little pyramids or triangles, so if you turn it up the other way, your pyramids or triangles will become inverted. This one, I don't think it makes any difference which way up it goes, so well, I will stick with A, just so that I know where I'm at. So then turn to page 41. So yeah, this is the sample, was made using card 10. No, card 9 doesn't look particularly interesting. Oh well, I've got card 10 out there. No, I haven't. We'll have to stick with it. Let's see what it comes up with. Now, as with all rib cast-ons, I do not have the punch card inserted in the machine when I cast on. I'm just going to replace my 4-ply yarn with some 3-ply, because this is a double bed fabric. If you've got a fine 4-ply, it might be okay, but a regular 4-ply is probably going to be too thick. So I just want to cut this tail off so that it doesn't cause mischief. So a little tip for me, if you've got one threaded up and you're too lazy to get off your backside, or you have back trouble like me, to get up and rethread it, tie the new yarn to the old one, and just pull it through. You probably can't see me doing all this, but that's actually what I'm doing. So we'll move that one out of the way. And there's my yarn. I've only got a little bit left of this, but hopefully it'll be enough. So leave the punch card on one side for a minute, and then you're going to thread up for full needle rib. So that's every needle on both beds in work. I won't do a huge piece. Pusher. Let's just do about 25 stitches or so on both beds. And for full needle rib, that means I need to have my pitch set on H. So this is the lever, just showing you here, the lever down here. Pitch means needles should be directly opposite each other on both beds. Half pitch means they should intermesh. Right. I need to tighten that up. I've fallen on the floor. I hope you can see everything. It's very difficult doing double bed work. And so they seem to be okay. And so Russell levers all on 2, side levers forwards, set levers on 1, carriages at 0 and 0 for cast on. Pick knob is at slip, the auto set lever is at 1. Everything's set for correct cast on, fingers crossed. So I'm going to move my carriage over to the left just to make sure these are all going to knit back. They're still empty at this stage, and I will collect my yarn when I'm over here. Now, I don't bother with any kind of using ravel cord or anything like that to pull in the hem. One of the beauties of this fabric is that it sits lovely and flat. You don't have to do hardly anything to it. So here's my ribber comb. Insert. I'm just going to use 2 big weights. So the setup for this is given in these operating tables. So that's where I'm at. I've done my first row. So it says here, set your knitter carriage to 1 and the ribber to 3 for the circular rows. I found I didn't have to do that. It did it on my normal 0-0 setting. So slip the first row on the ribber. So that's my set lever is at 0. Main carriage set to slip. And then return that to 0. There's my 3rd circular row. So now I'm going to start my full needle rib on both beds. So the left set lever, I've returned that to, whoops, can't see it, return that to 1. It's so tricky trying to show everything. There we go. And I'm going to insert my punch card and lock it on row 1. Locked. So now I'm going to set my ribber carriages and main carriage This is a 3-ply, so I'm going to set it on 4 and 4, and knit 1 row across to read the pattern in. It's fine. And now I can release the card, set my main carriage to tuck around here, side levers back, because of course you want to tell that to knit in pattern, and also to set my row counter and just start knitting. Now you can do what you do with a flatbed tuck and put the end needle out to D, which will on both sides, which will make sure that both side needles knit and not tuck. And you should see on the main bed some of the stitches are tucking as you knit. These will all be knitting. That's all you do. Just keep knitting. Now after a few rows, of course, you should add in your edge hangers. These things with the small weights. I've lost one of my ribber weights. I'll probably put it away with the other machine. Oh, there's one over there. Right. So insert the edge hangers. Didn't really want to use a big one. And again, you can pull the needles forward. Oops. Pushing the handle down. So I'll just knit a few more rows and then we'll take it off and have a look. That'll probably do for now. Right, so remove your edge weights. You should move those up every 20 rows or so. Take the big ribber weights off and cut the yarn. And there we go. So that's the ribber side. And that's the knitter side. See that? So let's take the comb off and you'll see what I mean about it sitting nice and flat. Now I've not done a thing to that, just literally taken the comb straight out of it. And as you can see, it's got a really nice flat edge. Actually doing a full needle rib edging just for a few rows at the bottom of a piece is a really good way of putting an edge on something if you don't want to hem. And then after a few rows just transfer the ribber stitches up to the main bed and carry on knitting. But that makes a really nice textured piece, Sits nice and flat. It's got a nice edge. Lovely jubbly, as they say. So have a little practice with some of your tuck punch cards and see what you think. Oh, one last thing. When these pieces, if you're knitting a long piece, when the comb starts to get towards the floor, you need to roll it up. I found these towel pegs in, we've got a shop called Home Bargains that does like cheap housewares, and it's absolutely brilliant for clipping up your comb. You wrap your knitting round it. Ta-da! And then if you use a bulldog clip on a bit of it, you can stick a weight on there as well if you want to carry on weighting the knitting, or you can just put claw weights across it, because you've obviously got area of fabric by this time, and it saves you having to poke things through the knitting that's been wrapped around the comb. It's stressed out enough as it is. But these I thought were, I can't remember how much they were, £3 or something like that, £3 I should say. Overseas people who might not know what quids are, British slang for a pound. Really good. So that's the last tip for the day. Try out punch tuck rib. Great. I'm a big fan. I'm a big convert to this now. I've got some lovely. Oh, it's really nice mauve colour. Deep lilac-y mauve colour. I'm going to knit some kind of a big wrap or something like that with it, I think. This is Yeoman Yarns, and it's called Volga 50/50 Fine 3-ply. It's 50% wool, 50% acrylic, and you get a good meterage, 2,900 metres on a cone. The cone is only 350 grams, and I've got that much left over from the first cone I used to knit me that short sleeve top in my big plus size, and I had that left over, so a little goes a long way. And punch tuck rib makes a really wide fabric, so if you are on the chunky side then and you need something 30 plus inches across, you'll be able to get that using a punch tuck rib fabric. It comes out nice and wide. I only needed something like about 150 odd needles to get my 28-inch wide piece, so it does come out very wide. So there we go. Let's all become punch tuck rib converts.